initially, but he did. And he was challenged when he shouldn't have been, so he plays it off to Stephen Tynan. Ian Marin there on the run for a moment, but it's St Mary's again. And that ball was very hopeful, and it was cut out by Danny Lynch for Fingallians. And Fingallians, Niall Tomey sends the long ball through there. There might be a chase on for it, but Shane Redmond has full control of the situation. And he hits that very, very wildly out into the centre of the field to Paul Flynn. It was a very, very speculative pass. Didn't really work. Dylan Staunton has possession now. He sees the opportunity for the score, and that one is just dropping short. Didn't quite have the clout of Oisin Lynch's last one. And Peter Doyle will come away with it now for St Mary's. And as far as Kieran Howard, they call him the super sub. He's in the starting 15 today. He's been fouled. And I think there might be a bit of a talking to there as well at this stage. Conor Grimes just getting the little ticking from the referee. And Alex Darcy takes the free into Blaine Kelly. Blaine Kelly looking it onto his left foot. He was unfortunate. That was a good block. And Gary Donnelly will try to get it away. Donny Keane, the Fingallians captain, plays it across in front of his goals. Something that in the old days would have had him almost shot for doing that. Nowadays it's par for the course. Paul Flynn, Dylan Staunton. As far as Shane Howard again the hopeful ball, but they're not going to hand a lot of the time for Fingallians as Adam Brady holds it up again. The two midfielders doing well to hold on to that ball for St Mary's and waiting for the right time to make the pass. Rhys Butler as far as Ian Marin. Alan Marshall coming very, very far out from that full forward position to help out. Plays it in again to Rhys Butler, and he in turn to Alan Marshall. Alan Marshall, a crossfield ball. The opportunity for Kieran Howard. Kieran Howard gets it onto the left foot. That looks good. Great score for Kieran Howard. Almost 10 minutes in, the sides are level, 2 points apiece. Ian O'Reilly looking to the centre of the field, and it ends up in the hands of Dylan Staunton, somewhat fortuitously. He in turn to Niall Tomey. Niall Tomey, he's big, he's strong. Trying to boot that one into the full forward end, and again to Oisin Lynch. And Oisin Lynch this time decides he doesn't have to kick the leather off it. He is playing extremely well. He's been the star forward so far in this game. That's his 3rd point. He's scored everything that Fingallians have scored so far. Again, you see the difficulty in the wet conditions. Conor Grimes dispossessed as a result of that, and then an awkward challenge going in there. I think it was Kieran Howard that was turning inside, and as he was turning inside he was hit. Referee Kieran Riley in command of the situation. And we're certainly going to have a free in for St Mary's, and a yellow card as well. The yellow card goes to Danny Lynch. So that's the first yellow card of the game. The sides tied 3 points apiece, and an opportunity now for St Mary's to go in front. Difficult angle this in under the stand where a lot of people will be today, just in case the rain comes back. And that's Blaine Kelly, and that looks good. No, the umpire thought about that for a little while. The crowd in the stand had decided that it might be over, but it wasn't. Ian O'Reilly's ball to the centre of the field again, through the hands. Plenty of support there for St Mary's. Alex Darcy, Rhys Butler, into a bit of space in the centre of the field to Stephen Tynan. Stephen Tynan decides to go long, but that's safe. And today, the safest place to catch that ball is on the chest. Paul Flynn. Gary Donnelly. Again, that slow movement in that half-back line for Fingalians. They had a lot more productive play when they launched it long as far as Oisin Lynch, but that's not happening just at the moment. Dylan Staunton has switched wings over to that far side. He gets that to Shane Howard. Shane Howard inside as far as the man on the run, Donny Keane. And Donny Keane is beautifully intercepted there. He just soloed that ball and the tackle was made at exactly the right moment. Now Oisin Lynch has possession for them. Their only scorer so far. And Oisin Lynch decides to play that ball inside to Donny Keane. There might have been a touch on it. The umpire agrees. So it's going to be a 45 for Fingalians. And similar to Shane Redmond coming up to take the 45 at the other end. Ian O'Reilly will do the same for Fingalians. The modern trend in the modern game. Attempting to put Fingalians back in front, and he slips. So it all comes to naught. Now he has a long way back to his goals. I'm not sure how quickly they might decide to send this back into his territory. Stephen Tynan decides he'll slow things up a little bit there. It comes back as far as Adam McCabe. Oh, that's a difficult ball, and it's easily seized on by Niall Tormey. Great opportunity now. Niall Tormey going through the centre. He's got a man outside him. He'll go for the goal himself, and in fact he puts it over the crossbar. But that was a real goal opportunity. Rhys Butler. Stephen Tynan. Alan Marshall. I thought he might have gone for the shot there, but that took a little touch along the way. And Paul Flynn sends that ball out now to wherever it changes. A little bit of space here. Oh, for a second, Kieran McLaughlin looked as if he might have been away, but he's won the free. Paul Flynn. Gary Donnelly. Shane Howard. Good movement. Oisin Lynch again. It's very, very high, but it's also very accurate. A 4th point for Oisin Lynch. So for the first time in this game, we have a 2-point margin. A ball knocked down, it'll be Jack Maguire's if he can hold his feet. He didn't, but the ball ends up with Adam Brady. And touched back nicely there. Oisin Lynch is now getting a little bit closer attention than earlier on. Donny Keane wins his free. And just at this moment in time now, you notice that Fingalians are beginning to come into the game that little bit more. Niall Tormey will take the free for them. 50 metres out. It's Gary Donnelly. Gary Donnelly putting that one into the corner. Shane Howard strongly going for it. He doesn't have to get it though. The chance of the score. And it's gone out to the left and wide. That's Fingalian's first wide. But you can see that the intensity in that St Mary's defence has risen significantly in the last few minutes. Again, the centre of the field. It was won by Adam McCabe. Rhys Butler. Alan Marshall has a player outside him. He decides to go for the score himself. That looks as if it's going way out to the right and wide. Ian O'Reilly's quick kick out. We haven't seen that many kick outs of that kind today. They've mostly been to the middle of the field, but there's a lot of passes going astray out there just at the moment as Adam Brady picks this one up for St Mary's, plays it to Jack Maguire. Jack Maguire looking menacing, loses his footing again. Adam Brady has it. I don't know whether you could hear the shouts from the stand to say take him on there, but that time it was Kieran Howard who took on the shot and sent it wide. 5 wides now for St Mary's. Donny Keane decides to do the safe thing, controls the ball first before trying to even get it up into his hands. Back to Sean Hickey. A little bit more urgency now with Paul Graves coming forward with that ball, but then it all stops and goes back once again, and Kieran Murtagh, nominally wearing the number 15, but he is wearing the number 15, but he's nominally a corner forward, plays it to Paul Flynn. Donny Keane, that's off the hand again, just no control there from Shane Howard. And Adam Brady to his midfield partner, Stephen Tynan. It's a dangerous ball for a second. Niall Twomey thought he was in for another interception, like the one that resulted in his point a moment ago. Oisin Lynch just couldn't get a hand to that one. And Stephen Tynan, he has time now and he has space to decide what he's going to do with this ball. Decides to go a little bit longer. It makes its way through. It looked for a moment as if it was about to be intercepted, but in the end it comes as far as Blaine Kelly. Blaine Kelly sends it into the corner. The opportunity was there for James Timmins. He got a couple of hefty challenges there. One perhaps was the frontal one, and that's the one that won him the free. This St Mary's side is managed by Jimmy Callaghan from Saggart himself, as indeed Fingallion's team is managed by Wayne Knight, who's also from Fingallion, so all local management teams. As Blaine Kelly strikes it well and brings the margin back to a single point. Good catch. Referee whistles for the mark. Dylan Staunton, but it's Donny Keane. Oh, almost got caught there, and then a bit of a mix-up between him there and Dylan Staunton. Nobody knew quite who was going to take that ball, and Blaine Kelly gets it straight away into the corner there to James Timmins. James Timmins turns and sends it over for the equalising score. Once again that ball goes through the fingers of one of the Fingallion's players. This time it's Paul Flynn. Another opportunity for St Mary's to make something out of this one. Kieran Howard is the player who gets it. He had the space to perhaps go for the shot sooner. When he did, it was half blocked, and that'll go for a 45, I've no doubt. So we'll see another trip up the field for Shane Redmond. This is in a far more favourable position for Shane Redmond than the last one, which was very close to the near sideline. I don't doubt he'll get the distance if he can keep his feet. It's very slippy. He hits that one much, much better. It's curling in. Oh, it's just held well there under the crossbar by Ian O'Reilly. And that was a difficult catch as well. Plates it to Gary Donnelly. His kick is blocked. 6 wides for St Mary's. Donny Keane. He really has decided to drive forward now to try and open up something. That long ball inside though, spotted by Shane Redmond. Again, not taking the risk of having to pick it up. It's close to the sideline. And you can see there how difficult it is. Niall Tormey came in to make the challenge, lost his footing completely. And Peter Doyle, the bearded Peter Doyle, holding it up and playing it eventually into the hands of Sean O'Toole. Sean O'Toole gets Alan Marshall away. Alan Marshall, nice ball inside. There's 2 players inside there. The opportunity for the score. And Blaine Kelly decides, I'm not going to play it inside. I'll take the score myself. And he puts St Mary's in front. The last 3 scores have come from St Mary's. 2 from Blaine Kelly, 1 from James Timmins. Just when it seemed as if Fingalians were getting a bit of a hold in the game, Paul Flynn. Niall Tormey was inside there, but again the pass goes astray. Crossed wires among the players, and Blaine Kelly now sees that he had a bit of space. Niall Tormey chased well there. Alan Marshall cuts inside. He'll get it onto his right foot. He might have thought about the score there. Blaine Kelly might think about the score. It mightn't just be far enough. Again it drops under the crossbar. And safe hands there from Ian O'Reilly. Sean Hickey was back there tidying up. Donny Keane is looking for support. Kieran Murta gave him that support eventually, and Sean Hickey then decides we'll try down the left wing. David O'Brien. All those passes that wouldn't be allowed in the new experimental rules that will be applied in next year's league. And again, Fingalians go back to holding on to the ball before Gary Donnelly says enough of that, plays the long ball. Now Oisin Lynch, if he can cut back inside, he'll go for the score. You just have that feel about him. He's on form today, and what does he do? He pops it over the crossbar. Well, he makes it look so simple. Oisin Lynch, the scorer of 5 points so far. Picked up a bit of a knock there as he was scoring that one. Both of these teams finished second in their respective groups in this year's championship. Fingalians losing to Round Towers Clondalkin and St Mary's to Thomas Davis. Oisin Lynch looks fully recovered, and that'll be a relief to the Fingalian supporters. Oh, Adam Brady had it, just couldn't hold on to it. The supporters on the far side felt that he had touched it on the ground. And in these conditions you can expect a lot of situations like that when players can't hold on to the ball, challenges are made, frees given away. Sean O'Toole plays it into his centre back, Peter Doyle. Peter Doyle decides to go all along the half back line to Alex Darcy before they move it through. There was a chance there for a second for that ball to be played into Stephen Tynan, but they just couldn't get it away. But Adam Brady does it in the end, in as far as James Timmins into Kieran Howard. Kieran Howard always looking for the shot. James Timmins will come in and try and get it away. Sean Hickey picks it up for Fingallians. Now maybe they will go a little bit faster this time, but no. There's a whole line of red and white shirts along that half back line at the moment before Donny Keane decides, well, maybe I'll be the one that'll break this log jam, and he plays it as far as Niall Tomey. Niall Tomey's ball played back towards Donny Keane, doesn't work out. Peter Doyle breaks it up, and in turn Adam McCabe gives possession this time to Alex Darcy. Alex Darcy, that's a long hopeful ball, but it's only going to go as far as Gary Donnelly, and Gary Donnelly gets support there from Conor and back again to him. Fends off the challenge there of Blaine Kelly. Well, that would have been a difficult one perhaps for the referee to decide on. Blaine Kelly is the one who got hurt as a result of it, and while he's down on the ground receiving attention, Fingallians will try to go forward with Kieran Murtagh. Sean Hickey again. Paul Flynn is looking for that ball. The new CEO of the GPA, that's the GAA's players' body. I'm running out of letters at this stage as Niall Tomey decides to pump it in towards Oisin Lynch. Oisin Lynch battles for it. It comes back outside with the opportunity for the score, and it's fisted over cleanly by Shane Howard to put Fingallians back in front. We've already had about 2 minutes of time added on, and Fingallians holding on to that 1 point lead just at the moment. Kieran Howard there, not too happy with the attention that he was getting. That's not going to work out for him. Conor Grimes goes down in that ball, and the referee decides that it's a free out for Fingallians. Today's winners here in Parnell Park will play the winners of Thomas Davis and Coola. Both those sides were big quarter-final winners, so you might say that the favourites will come from that side of the draw, but you never can tell. Dylan Staunton. Nice move inside. Got a bit of space again, he's looking up. Oisin Lynch is the target man. Donny Keane. Killian Power, they're calling for him to play that ball inside. Donny Keane, he tries to thread it through, but it doesn't work, and so the referee Kieran Riley blows for half time, bringing to an end an entertaining enough first half here, in which there's 1 point between the sides. It opened well for St Mary's with Blaine Kelly's first score, 2 back then from Oisin Lynch. He was the scoring star in that first half. He scored 5 points in total. Blaine Kelly scored 3. In between we had scores from Kieran Howard, Alan Marshall, Niall Tomey, James Timmins as well, and then the late one there from Shane Howard, which gave that 1 point lead to Fingallians at this stage. The referee there being spoken to by one of the St Mary's players, Ian Marin, just having a word with him. But it's been a good enough first half in this game. Of course, there's still much more to come in this Dublin Senior 2 football semi-final, and we'll be back after the half-time break to bring you the second half in full. But for now, though, at half-time, it's St Mary's Saggart 6 points, Fingallians 7 points. No, Reese Butler's on the run inside. Reese Butler with a chance of the goal. A good save there from Ian O'Reilly. Shane Redmond comes up for his third 45. For a moment though it looked as if we were going to have the game's opening goal from Reese Butler, but Ian O'Reilly did well. He stood up, got a strong hand onto it, but his opposite number now, Shane Redmond, trying to tie things up again. That looks like a better kick, much better kick this time from Shane Redmond. That's his first from a 45 today at his third attempt. And it looks like we're going to have a change on the St. Mary's side. Cornerback Adam McCabe is the player who's going off, and he's going to be replaced by the number 18 Steve Walsh. The injury to Adam McCabe. The sides are level, 7 points apiece, 2.5 minutes into the second half. The ball ends up in the hands of Dylan Staunton. Oh, good pace from Dylan Staunton. He can't get inside. He is fouled though. But just at the point of contact, he veered left, was brought down, and wins a very scoreable free now for Fingallians that could put them back in front. And that is a black card. The referee adjudged that that was a pull down. And the man who's making his way over there, I think it's the number 5, Sean O'Toole. He certainly did foul him, but as to whether or not it was a pull down, but it means that Sean O'Toole gets the black card, Fingallians get the free, and Fingallians get the point. Fingallians lead by 1. The long ball to the centre, that was nicely touched on there. Paul Flynn just couldn't get to it. And now Fingallians are beginning to put a bit of pressure on. Paul Flynn goes forward on the end of that move. Looks up, he's got support inside him. He uses Dylan Staunton. Dylan Staunton receives a good challenge. Good defending there from St. Mary's. Colin Finn, their captain, in on the action. Haven't seen much of him so far in this game. Steve Walsh gets into it quickly. He's the replacement there for Sean O'Toole. Alan Marshall. Kieran Howard. Kieran Howard likes to take on the players and perhaps go for the score, but that's going to fall short, I think. No, it just sneaks over the crossbar. Kieran Howard gets the score. The sides are level at 8 points apiece. Remember, if this one ends in a draw, there will be extra time. And Fingallians again putting themselves under pressure. Sean Hickey eventually gets it to the man who's back there doing all the hard work and has been since the start of this game, Kieran Murtagh. 2 of their full forward line have scored so far in this game. Shane Howard and Oisin Lynch is 5 points. Kieran Murtagh is unlikely to do so, given that he's playing back in defence a lot of the time. And it all works out for Fingallians. A lot of passes to once again see Kieran Murtagh in possession. I said he wouldn't be coming too far forward, but he does on this occasion, and he plays it out to Gary Donnelly. Gary Donnelly Looking for someone inside, but there's really nobody there at the moment except for Oisin Lynch, and Oisin Lynch perhaps will go for the score. He will. Oh, that is a mighty score. That is a brilliant score from Oisin Lynch. Bit of pushing. Donny Keane can't believe it. Adam Brady does believe it. And Kieran Hard will take the kick for St Mary's. A long ball through. It'll run on into Ian O'Reilly though. Gary Donnelly has support there from Niall Tormey. Niall Tormey has a player inside him, that's Dylan Staunton. He won't use him though. He's going to run on the line himself. Then loses possession. No push, and St Mary's have a good opportunity now. Kieran Murtagh's back there trying to put in the tackles, and he does. The referee says nothing wrong with that. And that one is eventually prodded out and back and comes as far as Jack Maguire. Jack Maguire goes for the shot, and that one is way off to the right and wide. Nope, the referee saw that there was a challenge that went in late, and he's given the free in to St Mary's. There's been very little separating these sides so far, and you get the feeling that that could be the case for the rest of this game. James Timmins takes the free for St Mary's. He drops it in nicely, and he drops it over the crossbar. They're level again. Good ball out to the centre of the field to Paul Flynn. Ran onto that ball well. Again, much more speed in this move for Fingalians. Donny Keane through to Niall Tormey. Niall Tormey with a chance. The shot on goal doesn't come from him though. And eventually it's a searing shot from Kieran McLaughlin, but it's to the left and wide. Shane Redmond hasn't had much practice kicking out, certainly from wides, because we've only had 2 wides for Galleons, 1 in each half so far. Conor Grimes. Conor's on the run, doesn't need him though, because Sean Hickey is the man who picks this one up. Conor was thinking about going on that run then. Paul Flynn winding himself up perhaps for the shot. No, he doesn't. Good challenge there on Oisin Lynch. He really is getting a lot of attention now, and he wins the free this time. He's the danger man. The real difficulty for them, if they can stop him, then Fingalian scores might well dry up. So Oisin Lynch taking this one from the floor. Strikes it well. It comes back just in time, I think. The umpire eventually agrees, and that's point number 7 for Oisin Lynch. It's almost been point about in this second half. That's a loose one though, picked up nicely this time by Kieran McLaughlin. Niall Tormey, Paul Flynn, Oisin Lynch again. He'll go for another score. Will he get this one as well? Oh, he does. Oh, this man is in such good form today. It's incredible. Line ball for St Mary's. despite the protests of half of Swords on the far side. It's gone out once again. Interesting to watch Wayne Knight and every single Swords selector with the arm in the opposite direction to the linesman's. This ball through to James Timmins coming inside. Blaine Kelly might be the one who'll get the strike on that one. It's gone over the crossbar, and it was Blaine Kelly. We've seen some great marksmanship this afternoon so far from Oisin Lynch for Fingallians, Blaine Kelly for St Mary's, and that's why this game is so tight. Niall Tomey just couldn't hold on to the ball. It was almost as if he was thinking of what he was going to do with it when he got it. It runs loose though to Conor Grimes. Shane Lynch won't get that one. It might come through though as far as Shane Howard, but he just couldn't control it, and Shane Redmond decides that he'll pump that one long as far as Reese Butler. Reese Butler takes on Sean Hickey to Alan Marshall. Alan Marshall looking for the little low ball in there as far as James Timmins. He picks it up well. James Timmins hasn't much support in there. Well, the St Mary's players and supporters were all appealing for a free. But again, that ball way out to the half forward line ends up with Blaine Kelly. Luckily enough, perhaps, he has the support there of Peter Doyle. He uses Peter Doyle in the end. Peter Doyle is looking over onto this side of the field. He doesn't have to go this way though, because Kieran Howard picks up the ball. Kieran Howard, as usual, trying to get it onto his left foot now to spin in the shot. That looks good as well. That is sailing over the crossbar. We're going to have another change on the St Mary's side. That's a difficult one for Gary Donnelly. He was lucky to tap that ball on. It worked out for him. And now a bit of room that there is for Dylan Staunton. Alan Marshall is really tearing back there to make the tackle on him. And he did save that from being a move that could have threatened St Mary's. So good running back by Alan Marshall. Donny Keane again. This is looking better. Donny Keane plays it through there as far as the big midfielder Killian Power, and Killian Power whips it over the bar. Every time that St Mary's draw level, Fingallian seem to just have that little bit of ability just to edge ahead of them. And they have this possession now. Donny Keane in as far as Niall Tomey. It'll run loose. The referee is going to give the free in. He thought about that one for a moment, and in the end decided that Kieran McLaughlin had been fouled. So this one out on the right hand side is the opportunity for Kieran McLaughlin to put a bit more daylight between these sides. Kieran McLaughlin's kick, it certainly is high enough, and it's certainly straight enough as well. Fingallian's accuracy today has been extraordinary in a way. They've scored 13 points so far, and they've just had 2 wides. The ball runs on to Conor Grimes. Conor Grimes sells the little dummy there. He's got Paul Flynn running. Paul Flynn called for the ball, knew where exactly it was going to go. You can see a bit of strength now in Fingallians as St Mary's need to get back into this game. Conor Grimes again, well tackled, but he still holds on to possession. Shane Howard. There's support on the far side if Dylan Staunton can use it. Gets the return pass from Kieran Murtagh. Niall Tomey. Donny Keane, and Donny Keane again almost seemed as if he was going to make the pass before he'd caught the ball. And now Alan Marshall. He's a long way from goal, but he's been working back very, very hard in the second half to try and get something moving for St Mary's. They're not out of this game by any means. The opportunity for another score, is that good? No. Another Mary's wide. Ian O'Reilly finds his cornerback David O'Brien. It's all a bit risky at times, but it's been working for them so far, and it creates space further up. Kieran McLaughlin, and the referee spotted the fouling there by Ian Marin, and that was on the man who came on for Fingallians, Jamie Cassidy. So the referee just gives Ian Marin a little warning. Now this is a big kick for Oisin Lynch. Fingallians have been ahead by 1 point, they've been ahead by 2 points, they've never been ahead by 3 points in this game. Again off the ground, again he strikes that so well. Brilliant score from Oisin Lynch. His 9th in this game. And for the first time there's now 3 between them. Paul Flynn. He has Sean Hickey there beside him. Decides not to use him. Well, he was going to run into trouble there, so he uses Donny Keane instead. Shane Howard. Again, this is what they've been doing since the start of the game, holding it in that half-back line, being patient, waiting for the opportunity to move forward. David O'Brien under a bit of pressure there. Sean Hickey. Dylan Staunton, and then they move the ball quickly. It really is a tactic of theirs to do it that way, and Donny Keane likes to steal up, plays it out to Dylan Staunton. Dylan Staunton, but only in as far as the goalkeeper Shane Redmond, but the referee said that he was tackled late. So there is another opportunity for Kieran McLaughlin from out there on the right hand side, the left footed kicker. Fingallians beat Temple Oaks Sing Street in the quarter-final of this competition, 119 to 111 out in Skerries. And St Mary's had a nail-biting win, 17 points to 113 in the quarter-final over Round Towers Clondalkin. Fingallians looking as if they might take control, and that is a great kick from Kieran McLaughlin. With just under 10 minutes left. Oh, the referee there having a word with the St Mary's player. There's a bit of a joust between a couple of players involved there, and now 2 players in the centre of the field getting a bit involved. Things all getting a little tetchy at the moment. Nerves beginning to fray as Fingallians look as if they're just taking control of this game. Kieran Dunn was the player from St Mary's that the referee was just having a word with there a moment ago. The linesman has now decided to clarify what it was that happened in the centre of the field. Pushing and shoving it really was, so I don't think he's going to take too much action unless there was something that we didn't spot. Well, the conversation is still going on. I thought for a second Kieran Dunn was actually leaving the field there, but he's just going over to get some instructions from the sideline. Well, the last thing St Mary's need at this stage is to lose a player. The game is finely balanced. Another couple of scores for Fingallians and they'll be away. Well, the referee is flashing the yellow cards down there. Who exactly got them is anyone's bet. So it all settles down and play can resume. St Mary's need a score. Oh, wonderful catch out there by Killian Power. Again, Donny Keane, he's become more and more influential as this game has gone on. From 20 metres out, he goes for the score himself. It falls short. Shane Redmond will pick that one up. Oisin Lynch makes the tackle on him. But in fact, there's just two Fingallian players there. One of them is Paul Flynn. Kieran McLaughlin. Shane Howard in as far as Niall Tomey. Niall Tomey looking for the score. He hits it very, very high, but off to the left and wide. You get the feeling that perhaps St Mary's are going to need a goal to get back into this one. Great catch there in the centre of the field by Stephen Tynan. Peter Doyle. Alan Marshall. You can see that he knows that they need to do something. Sean Hickey comes in, makes the tackle. The referee and linesman are deciding who gets the line ball. It's St Mary's call. And now full back for St Mary's, Colin Finn trying to play the captain's role and go forward. Alan Marshall's won the free. And once again it's going to be Shane Redmond who'll come up from goals to take the kick. Although Kieran Howard was considering taking it from there, but Shane Redmond ambles towards the kick. He scored 145 already. This one is essentially a 45. He brings it back to the 45 metre line, and they really do need this kick. Strikes it left and wide though. If you were looking for form lines coming into this game, well, Fingallians lost to Round Towers Clondalkin in their group, and then along comes St Mary's and beat Round Towers in the quarter-final. But of course it's never that simple, as we're seeing here this afternoon, with Fingallians 4 points ahead into the last 5 minutes of this game. Kieran Riley is going to throw it up. And the same end result. Sean Hickey going this way and that, waiting for the right time to pass that ball out as far as Donny Keane. He just seems to know the right time to go forward. I spoke too soon, he overcarried. This will be brought forward 13 metres. And it's taken, oh, that ball almost ran through. It does eventually. And it's in the back of the net. James Timmins gets the goal. I said they might need a goal to get back into it. It was somewhat lucky perhaps, but they all count. One point between the sides, and here comes St Mary's again. Kieran Howard loses possession. Well, I'm not too sure if that was deliberate or just a clumsy challenge there, but the referee has seen a second yellow and it's a red card. The substitute, Kieran Dunn. So just after St Mary's had got back into the game, got the goal that brings them within a point of Fingallians, they go down to 14 men. The advantage now with Fingallians, certainly in terms of player numbers and of course on the scoreboard as well. They have that 1 point advantage. Jamie Cassidy, Niall Tommy is there with them, plays it infield as far as Shane Howard. Shane Howard, very, very high but also very wide. So an opportunity. The ball is kicked out, and that was a very good kick out from Shane Redmond. He spotted over on this side of the field that Adam Brady had made the run. Adam Brady gets it to James Timmins. James Timmins plays it inside. Blaine Kelly, he'll go for the point surely. And that's the equaliser from Blaine Kelly. Man St Mary's get the equaliser, and Blaine Kelly, who's been playing so well, 5 points for him this afternoon, not far off what Oisin Lynch was doing with those 9, and that kick has gone out over the sideline again, putting the pressure back on Fingallians. When Fingallians will feel that they've let this one really slip if they don't hold on now at this stage. Reece Butler trying to see if there's anything to open up in the centre. That might just be Blaine Kelly. He was thinking about the shot there, I think, and then he spots the little run through on the far side from Kieran Howard. Kieran Howard's under pressure from Donny Keane, and Donny Keane got in there with a good shoulder, used his weight, used his strength, used his experience to get hold of that ball. The sides are level. We're into the final minute of normal playing time. There will be an amount of time to be added on. That ball very close to the sideline, and it's been carried out over the sideline. Well, now you can hear the Sagard supporters. And Fingallians, who over the years have had their heartbreaks. They lost 3 intermediate football championship finals in a row. 2012, 13 and 14 before they went senior eventually. And now today, as Adam Brady has possession of this ball and plays it into that full forward line, it's James Timmins. James Timmins turns and hits it, and he's put it over. St Mary's are in front. St Mary's came from 6 points down against Round Towers to win the game with a point in the last minute. Today they were 4 points behind before that goal from James Timmins, and now they've got a lead point. Now it's Fingallians that have to chase this game. Sean Hickey fouled, plays on. We're into time added on. Killian Power. There'll be extra time if they finish level. Now it's St Mary's pulling everyone back. They've got 13 men in their own half, 1 in the Fingallians half, and 1 sent off. Donny Keane plays it outside as far as James Cassidy. James Cassidy back into the centre to Paul Flynn. Will Paul Flynn go for the score from here? He's winding himself up for it. Oh, good opportunity now for Shane Howard. Shane Howard snaps at that one. It's gone way, way out to the right. And even though Niall Tormey gets a hand onto it, but this will be an unbelievable victory for St Mary's if they achieve it at this stage. Fingallians looked as if they had this match all wrapped up. It was only a matter of playing out the time. And then a piece of pure opportunism from St Mary's James Timmins. He poked the ball home. And it's all changed since then. Oisin Lynch is perhaps the man to get an equaliser for them. He scored 9 points in this game. And if there was anyone you wanted to have the ball at this stage, it's him. As Shane Redmond prepares to kick out. We've had almost 2 minutes of time added on. Fingallians can't get hold of that ball. It's gone out off a red jersey. Line ball for St Mary's. And that long ball through again. The referee has spotted that the foul was on David O'Brien, the Fingallians cornerback. So this really has to be it now for Fingallians. They trail by a point. Sean Hickey has possession. They've got to get it forward. Donny Keane. Shane Howard back inside to Sean Hickey. One last throw of the dice perhaps. Paul Flynn. Donny Hickey into that follow, into Oisin Lynch. Who else but Oisin Lynch? Oisin Lynch has the ball at his feet and it's saved. Saved by Shane Redmond. And what is the referee indicating? Oisin Lynch had the ball. It ran away from him. He got the shot in on the ground and somehow or other Shane Redmond came across and saved it. Well, St Mary's under-11s team are holding a breakfast in their clubhouse next Saturday morning in aid of Childline, which is a great cause. They're also going to have a magician. I don't think they'll need one. They've had one here today because they certainly have pulled this one out of the fire. A remarkable turnaround in the last few minutes. If it stays as it is, the ball rolling on gently towards the halfway line. Blaine Kelly goes down. He knows he has to just get possession of it. Inside as far as Peter Doyle. They've got to hold on to this ball. Alan Marshall. They lead by a point, and because Fingallians are pushing forward, there's a few gaps now, and then one of those gaps puts the ball at James Timmins' feet. Will he go for the score? He might fist it in. He decides to hit it hard. He puts it over the crossbar, and now there's two between them. But still, the referee plays on. We're into the 5th minute of time added on. Oisin Lynch out there again. Just couldn't get hold of that ball. Alan Marshall for St Mary's. Alan Marshall fouled. He takes it quickly enough. Blaine Kelly looking for support. He has that support from Stephen Tynan. James Timon is over on this side of the field. He decides not to use him. He plays the longer ball inside to Rhys Butler. And Rhys Butler jinking his way around Sean Hickey. And Sean Hickey does well there to get back and win that ball. Good play from the centre back there. Now, Fingallians really need a goal. Paul Flynn. Niall Tormey's in on the edge of the square. Will they play it into him now? They really have to go for the goal. They're going to go for the point instead though, and they're going to get the point, but that mightn't be enough for them at this stage. Jamie Cassidy getting the point for them. It was tight for St Mary's in the quarter-final. It's been tight for them again today. They lead by a point. Fingallian 16, St Mary's 1 goal and 14. That's 17. And the final whistle has gone, and it's Saggart that are celebrating. A remarkable turnaround in the last few minutes of this game. Fingallians 4 points up, looked as if they were home and hosed. Then suddenly they gave away the goal. The game turned, and despite the fact that St Mary's went down to 14 men for the last 6 or 7 minutes, they still managed to push forward and get the scores. It was Jamie Timmins in those final few minutes, James Timmins, who got a goal and 2 points. And really, Fingallians must wonder what hit them. They've been here before, they've had terrible days, and this will be one of them that will be equal to any of those terrible intermediate football championship final defeats, because they had this one won and somehow or other they've conspired to lose it. As I said, at half time in this game, it was 7 points to 6 for Fingallians, with a whole host of scores in the second half. In particular, at one stage we had 4 scores from Fingallians that pushed them ahead to 15 points to 11. Back came the goal from James Timmins, and then after that it really was all St Mary's, despite the fact that they were down one man. Well, stay with us for this evening, because while we've come to the end of this Senior 2 football semi-final, it's by no means the end of today's coverage from Parnell Park, because you can join us again at 5:25 for full live coverage of the first of the 2018 Senior 1 football semi-finals between Kilmacud Crokes and Ballyboden St Enda's. A mouth-watering prospect ahead. So be sure to join us again for that. In the meantime, we'll leave you with a reminder of the Senior 2 semi-final, a sensational victory in the end for St Mary's Saggart on the final scoreline. St Mary's Saggart 1 goal and 14 points, Fingallians 16 points. Welcome back to Parnell Park for the first of the 2018 Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship semi-finals. This eagerly awaited clash of two of the Southside superpowers, Kilmacud Crokes and Ballyboden St Enda's. The sides have already met twice this year, and on both occasions in the league and in the championship, Kilmacud came out on top, which is why they justifiably go into today's match as strong favourites. Cian O'Sullivan hasn't been included in Kilmacud's starting lineup, but such is his importance to the team, a very late last minute call-up would be no real surprise. In his absence, the McGowans, Ross and Andrew provide a solid defensive spine, but of course it is Crokes' potentially devastating forward division which catch the eye. Paul Mannion's speed, strength and accuracy are a nightmare for any defence, and when you add in the qualities of Callum Pearson and Shane Horan, as well as the ageless guile of Pat Burke, you undoubtedly have one of the most formidable forward lines in all club football. Despite the fact that it's only 2 years since Ballyboden collected the All-Ireland club title, they come to Parnell Park today as underdogs, a scenario old hands the like of Michael Dara McCauley, Declan O'Mahony and Conall Keeney are bound to relish. On the younger end of the playing spectrum, the Baskell brothers, Colm and Ryan, are only itching to show off their undoubted talents, while if it's sure-footedness you need on the big occasion, you need look no further than Darren Nelson, Robbie McDade and Shane Clayton. And if this one turns into a bit of a dogfight, Ballyboden certainly can't be ruled out. This evening's referee is Dara Shepherd, who has the distinction of refereeing the first inter-county match that went to a free shootout in the O'Byrne Cup between Meath and Longford down in Navan. Meath won that by 2 points to 1. He also has refereed county finals here in Dublin. And straight away it's Thomas Connolly that gets possession for Kilmacud Crokes. Into that full forward line to Dara Mullen. Dara Mullen back outside to Craig Diaz. The opportunity for the opening score, it's certainly high enough. Is it accurate? No, it's just gone to the right and wide. We were expecting to see changes, and I can tell you straight away that Cian O'Sullivan is playing. We thought it was a little unlikely that he wouldn't be. He's wearing the number 18, that was him just in possession. Callum Pearson. He was looking to men outside him. He played that ball, lovely ball into that full forward line, and Craig Diaz has put the ball in the back of the net. Everyone stood and looked. Dara Mullen then just played the ball across, and all he had to do was stroke it into an empty net almost. What a start for Kilmacud. A goal on 60 seconds. That's 6 goals. That's 6 goals that we've had from Kilmacud this year. And now Ballyboden try to respond, and they do. Well, quite a start to this game. A goal for Kilmacud, then the follow-up from Colin Basquel. So we can all take breath for a moment while the injury is being attended to. Both these teams are hoping to join their hurlers in the county final this year. Kilmacud beat Coola, the 3 times Dublin champion, 2 times Leinster champion, 2 times All-Ireland champion. In the senior hurling semi-final, Ballyboden beat St Vincent's, and of course St Vincent's are still in the football, so those 3 clubs in particular have had quite a year. A goal to a point, the lights are on in Parnell Park. And Kilmacud are just trying to create a platform. Shane Cunningham very involved, and once again the ball runs through, and Craig Diaz looked as if he was about to get hold of that one as well, but Darren O'Reilly went all the way back into his defence for Ballyboden to tidy things up and settle things down. It's been a frantic start. Callum Pearson commits the foul. Dara Gogan plays it out as far as Dara Nelson. Now the pitch has dried out quite a lot. The opening game here was played in much slippier conditions, but that's won by Shane Horn. In as far as Pat Burke. Pat Burke dispossessed. Plays it low along the ground though. Good defence there from Ballyboden. The referee might decide that he's going to give the free. He doesn't. And again, that's what I was talking about in slipping in, and the conditions here. It's still a little bit wet, still a little bit slippy, but it has dried out well in the last couple of hours. Free in for Kilmacud. So Pat Burke with the opportunity to get a second score for Kilmacud. Edge of the D, not much wind, strikes it well, and he takes the first point of the game for Kilmacud. Dara Gogan, it's a long kick from him, well out into the centre of the field. Declan O'Mahony flicks that ball on. Michael Dara McCauley plays it into that full forward line, into Ryan Basquel. Ryan Basquel is bottled up, but he wins the free. That was good direct play from Ballyboden. Straight from the kick out, no time wasted. Linesman on this side of the field just updating the referee on something that he saw. So an opportunity now for Ballyboden's Ryan Basquel. Ballyboden in blue with white stripes as opposed to white with blue stripes. Kilmacud in their purple and gold. Ryan Basquel makes his way across in front of goal almost. No doubt about that one ever from the moment it left his boot. So we've had scores from the Basquel brothers so far, keeping Ballyboden in touch after that shock early goal. Callum Pearson, Thomas Connolly plays it back. Cian O'Sullivan. Oh, there was a flapping hand there that looked as if it might have made contact for a moment. Paul Mannion under pressure. Kilmacud trying to prise something open there, but it all broke down, and Darren Nelson now having to run right across his own full back line to find a little bit of space, which he eventually does by playing the ball out to Aaron Waters. And certainly that Ballyboden defence are under pressure and give away the free. That was great pressure from the Kilmacud forwards. Paul Mannion is going to go out to take this one. Almost perfect conditions here in Parnell Park now for this much anticipated game. Little bit of a breeze into his face, not much, but it would still be a huge kick if he can land it. Nope, it's gone to the right for a second wide for Kilmacud. Ballyboden goes short this time. Shane Clayton now decides that he better make a bit of a run forward. It's very busy around the centre of the field. Darren O'Reilly plays it on this side of the field eventually to Declan O'Mahony. Again as far as Sean Gibbons. They've been very patient. Ryan Basquel trying to see, can he find a little bit of space, a little bit of an opening. Back to Sean Gibbons. In turn to Declan O'Mahony. Declan O'Mahony's strength shows there as he goes through the centre and he wins the free, pulling the jersey. The ball ends up in the hands of Ryan Basquel, which means that he'll be the one who'll take this as well. So after the shock of that quick goal, Ballyboden seem to have settled down now a little bit. Almost exactly the same position as his first kick. And he ends up with the same result. Second point for Ryan Pascal. There's just one between them. Declan O'Mahony receiving some attention. Looks like an ankle injury that he might have picked up. But what a strong midfield pairing that is, of Declan O'Mahony and Michael Dara McCauley. David Nestor, exactly to the halfway line. But there's 4 Ballyboden players there. The man who was injured a second ago, Declan O'Mahony, is one of those 4 into that full forward line. Well, Ryan Pascal thought he could have come around on the loop there and got that away, but he didn't. And in the end, it's Shane Horn who has it now for Kilmacud Crokes. Thomas Connolly. There's a chase on for it in there. The tackling is hard. It comes back out to Callum Pearson. Callum Pearson thought about the shot there perhaps. He's still looking for that little bit of space. And the crossfield ball there to Craig Diaz. He's gone down, he's under pressure. Good pressure there from Ballyboden. They win the free out. They're working well together. And this is Alan Flood. But Alan Flood gives it away. They're going to have to make better use of every possession in this game. That ball ends up with Shane Cunningham now. He can take a score himself. He decides not to this time though. Over towards Pat Burke. Pat Burke on the 20 metre line. Looked like he was going to give it to Cian O'Connor, then decides to go for the shot himself, but that's pulling left. Wide for Kilmacud. The line ball will have to be taken again. I think there was some contact being made with the player over there. So the game just lost pace at the moment. Shane Cunningham. Oh, good tackle. Timed beautifully there by Bob Dwan. The familiar figure of Conal Keeney. He was almost going to get that return pass there from Colin Pascal, and then Colin Pascal decided that he would go in a different direction to Ryan Pascal. Ryan Pascal is again trying to wind himself up for the kick. Darren Nelson has it now. Crokes have a lot of players back. Michael Dara McCauley over this side of the field to Sean Gibbons. Darren O'Reilly. Darren O'Reilly under enormous pressure. He does well to get that ball away. Darren Nelson probably wasn't expecting to get that one, but somehow it made its way through to him. He's got support, and that support doesn't work out. It was Aaron Waters that had the shot in the end, and that's Ballyboden's first wide. David Nestor's kick. Oh, that ball works out very nicely. Well, almost nicely. It ran through there and it just missed out the hand of Shane Horan. He almost got it and then didn't. And Shane Clayton now brings it away as far as Declan O'Mahony for Ballyboden. Michael Dara was alongside him. He uses Darren O'Reilly instead. Darren O'Reilly goes for the long ball inside, but that should be a goalkeeper's ball. It wasn't really a problem there for David Nestor. Now, Paul Mannion. Will he try to use his pace? He does. The chase is on though from Sean Gibbons. Paul Mannion's ball. Well, it was Pat Burke there who was knocked over in the rush there. But the free out goes to Ballyboden. They've a player down who might need attention. But Michael Dara gets this ball eventually. Sean Gibbons has it. Cian O'Sullivan is confronting him. He's got Conal Keeney there as well. Conal Keeney decides to land that ball inside again, though. It's too close to the goalkeeper. And David Nestor comes out and launches once again an attack for Kilmacud Crokes. We're halfway through this first half. It started in a blaze of glory and excitement, but it's settled down a little bit at the moment. I said this could become a bit of a dogfight. It certainly looks as if it has that close feeling about it. Ryan Basquel, he's going to try and get it onto the left. Will he go for the shot from there? It would be very ambitious. He doesn't even get that chance. Plays it back out to Robbie McDade. Robbie McDade might think about it as well. Michael Dara McCauley, hands off, tries to play it into the centre and does then. Robbie McDade turning, twisting. Can he get the shot away? He can get the shot away. And Robbie McDade gets the point. The last three scores have come from Ballyboden. They've levelled this game up. That was definitely a frontal charge. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Aaron Waters will be the player spoken to. This could well be the first yellow card of the game. It is indeed. As I mentioned earlier, in total now, Kilmacud have scored 6 goals this year against Ballyboden, and Ballyboden have yet to score one against them. Kilmacud did register a very big quarter-final win over St Sylvester's here in Parnell Park, 217 to 15 points. But that scoreline was a little bit misleading perhaps, because the Malahide outfit did well until giving away a penalty near the end. A very, very contentious penalty. Kilmacud now coming forward once again. Andrew McGowan, the full back up there, helping out. Shane Cunningham. Thomas Connolly. Liam Flatman. Well, everybody's moving forward at this stage now. Liam Flatman keeps going and going and going. Just lost possession at the end, and then looked as if he might have picked that one up, but Ballyboden recover. It looked as if they were about to be opened up by Liam Flatman. They've won the free out now, so they've saved the day, but they looked under enormous pressure there for a few seconds. Alan Flood. Challenge there by Liam Flatman. Kilmacud win possession back. Shane Horn into that full forward line. Darren Mullen has the opportunity to turn. Thought about the shot, decides not. Shane Horn again. Shane Horn might think about the shot because he's just running across into a bit of space now. He's closed down just in time. Callum Pearson, he might go from there. No, he doesn't have the chance of the shot either. Cian O'Connor did, but in the end it's Cian O'Connor that wins the free in there, and this one looks like a fairly easy one for Paul Mannion. Robbie McDade was the Ballyboden player spoken to, but no card on this occasion. And an opportunity for Kilmacud to go back in front. No trouble whatsoever to Paul Mannion. Dara Gogan goes long. There's big men in the centre of the field for Ballyboden, but they don't win that possession. Cian O'Sullivan does. Shane Cunningham been very involved so far in this game. Crossfield ball there, but it just didn't work. It was just that little bit too ambitious. And now Ballyboden can move this quickly if they can, as far as Colin Baskell. Colin Baskell into the full forward line. He's got support there. Ross McGarry had support from Colin Baskell. Didn't need him because he won the free. They're back on level terms once again. This time it's Colin Baskell that takes the point. He takes the Baskell kicks from the left. From the centre and the right tends to be Ryan. And once again these sides are level. It's a game that simply hasn't taken off despite that searing start. Michael Dara tried to chip that one up. Got it eventually. Michael Dara, he's like one of those mechanical bulls and he suddenly takes off. You're not quite sure what's going to happen. The long ball out there though, but it's taken by Aaron Waters, sends it forward, but again the passing is poor. And an opportunity now for Kilmacud. Dara Mullen burst through. Just stopped at the right time. Again, good defence from Ballyboden. Just when it seemed as if they were about to be split open, they got enough players there, put in the challenges and won the ball back. Alan Flood there with a quick interchange of passes to Conal Keeney. Conal Keeney's been working back around the halfway line a lot too. Ryan Baskell there as well. Alan Flood inside once again. It's hard work though, and this time it's turned over once again. So Kilmacud Crokes bearing down on the Ballyboden goals. They're dispossessed. The same at the other end, and it's been that type of game so far. Ballyboden bringing in Shane Durkin to mark Pat Burke. Oh, David Nestor's gone over the 45 at this stage. Callum Pearson didn't like the challenge. Keelan O'Shea made the pass to him. And Declan O'Mahony coming forward again. Sean Gibbons. Can they create something? Alan Flood makes the run inside. Colin Baskell looks like he'll take the point from there. Oh, he underhits that one badly. You could see he had created the space for himself, but he just didn't quite get it. Cian O'Connor. Kilmacud Crokes playing from right to left. Down to the Donacarney end. That ball is chipped out very close to the sideline, and it's going to be a line ball for Kilmacud. Now that's one of the things that won't happen under the new experimental rules as well. You won't be allowed to kick line balls backwards. Andrew McGowan now. Andrew McGowan goes for the point. That looks like it's curling in. Oh, that's a sizzling score from Andrew McGowan. Off the outside of the boot. Terrific score. Just a point between them. Cian O'Sullivan. And again, the man that got the score there, Andrew McGowan, decides, well, look, maybe I've done it once, I might try it once again. He decides to play it on to Shane Horn. Shane Horn in a dangerous position. Shane Horn, and it was blocked and deflected past the goalkeeper. Dara Gogan had no chance whatsoever, and Kilmacud get a second goal. A deflected goal. The first one had a little touch of fortune to it. That one certainly had a larger chunk in many ways, but it doesn't really matter. It gives Kilmacud their first clear lead in this game. They lead by 4 now. And Callum Pearson was trying to extend that. So this puts a big question mark over Ballyboden now. You could see there straight away Colin Basquel went back there to try and win possession. Shane Durkin involved. Darren O'Reilly, Shane Durkin again. They've got to do something now. Darren Nelson. Certainly they're moving that ball well. Shane Durkin has come all the way from cornerback. The opportunity for the score, but again that's just going to fall short. That's the third time the ball has fallen into the hands of David Nestor. Pat Burke now. He's been around a long time, but he's also been around for a lot of success. That one given away. Alan Flood now. Can he create something? Sees the player inside. It's Conal Keeney. Conal Keeney will go for the score from there. He hits it well, but it's gone way out to the right and wide. Declan O'Mahony. Conal Keeney. These are the senior players. These are the players that have to do something now. Ryan Basquel. Michael Darren McCauley. He bursts through. He goes for the goal. Oh! So unlucky. It was a thundering shot. And the power of the shot meant that it actually rebounded so far away, nobody could follow up on it. Well, that would have been one of the goals of the championship. And it's a goal that Ballyboden really do need at this stage. Little push in the back there from Shane Cunningham. Darren Nelson back to Shane Durkin. Shane Durkin as far as Darren O'Reilly. Shane Durkin again. Shane Durkin has now suddenly begun to evolve as the link around the centre of the field for Ballyboden. But they've gone back once again. Now Declan O'Mahony. They have a man in there on the edge of the square. Sean Gibbons. Thinking about the shot perhaps. No, he doesn't. Oh, again it's under hit. And that was Ryan Basquel again. He does all the right things in terms of creating the space for himself to shoot, but unfortunately the contact wasn't good. And we're fast approaching half time now, and it's been a poor first half. We've had 2 goals, but one the deflection, the other a result of some indecision perhaps in the Ballyboden defence. Andrew McGowan. Dara Mullen. Dara Mullen again running straight at the defence. Hits it well. Oh, that's a great score. Dara Mullen carried that ball well under pressure. Put it right between the uprights. We're into time added on at the end of this first half. Ah, that's a superb catch. Declan O'Mahony goes long. Liam Flatman battling for that ball. Did very, very well there. Used his strength well. David Nestor gets things moving once again. Killian O'Shea involved. Tug there on Andrew McGowan. And without doing anything spectacular really, Kilmacud have been in control of this game. Paul Mannion, haven't seen a huge amount of him, faced by Cathal Flaherty. Decides the best thing to do is to play it back out. Shane Horn under pressure from Sean Gibbons wins his free. And Craig Diaz once again gets the opportunity, but that one just goes outside the upright. Pat Burke decides to tap it home, but it won't count. Ballybowden really are putting themselves under pressure now. Pat Burke almost stole that one from them. Robbie McDade fouled by Paul Mannion, but the referee doesn't see it like that. Shane Durkin. And you get the feeling that if anything's going to happen, Shane Durkin could be the man that will create that problem for Kilmacud. But Andrew McGowan is away once again. Now he'll go for a second point in this game. He might just get it. It's bobbling around, and I don't know how that stayed out. In the end, Dara Mullen got his boot on it, and it was deflected out. Last time the deflection ended up in the back of the net. This time it's gone for a 45. So wing half back Cian O'Connor is going to take the 45 for Kilmacud. This could well be the last action of this first half. Strikes it well. Not long enough though. And the referee, Dara Shepherd, decides that that's enough. So at the end of a very disappointing first half, Kilmacud Crokes lead by 5 points. 2 goals and 4 points to 5 points. Double scores here in Parnell Park. And no doubt, we hope that there are plenty more twists and turns still to come in this game. And if there are, you can see them all when we return after the half-time break. For now, though, at half-time in this Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship semi-final from Parnell Park is Kilmacud Crokes 2 goals and 4 points. Ballybowden 5 points. Welcome back to Parnell Park for second half coverage of this evening's Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship Semi-Final. We're at half time. It's Kilmacud Crokes 2 goals and 4 points. Ballyboden St Enda's 5 points. Disappointing first half. Shane Cunningham taking up where he left off in the first half really. He has the opportunity for the score, but that one I think is just going outside that left hand upright. Well, Ballyboden really have to do something special. They had a game plan of bringing in Bob Dwan to mark Paul Mannion. Then I think he picked up an injury. He was replaced since then by Shane Durkin, and Shane Durkin certainly has pushed forward a lot more. But to what cost, you wonder? Declan O'Mahony now. Colin Basquel holds on to that strongly. Look at the pace. Player taken out of it along the way there. Ross McGarry was involved in that. Ross McGarry goes for the score, but again it falls short. Well, really that's been the story of the evening for Ballyboden. Time and time again the ball falling short. That one was from a good distance out, but some of the others were from no more than 20 metres out. Killian O'Shea linking up well there. Shane Horn. And once again it's Kilmacud that are looking threatening. Callum Pearson playing the ball out the far side to Shane Cunningham. Shane Cunningham to Pat Burke. Back to Shane Cunningham. Shane Cunningham going for the score. Curls it in well. Good score. Despite the fact that Kilmacud are leading by 5 points, their management team was in a very deep conversation outside the dressing rooms at half time. Their joint managers Robbie Brennan and Johnny McGee, the former Wicklow manager, of course the former Dublin player as well. Pat Burke did very, very well to hold on to that ball. He plays it back as far as Cian O'Connor. He's going through. He fancies a shot from there. Perhaps he should have thought twice. The other members of that Kilmacud management team: Paul Griffin, another former Dublin player, Robbie Lahey, Shane Smith, Greg Diaz, again Shane Horn. It's all so easy just at the moment for Kilmacud. Greg Diaz again. Shane Cunningham. Diaz, he's gone for his second goal. Was he brought down? The referee thinks about it and then decides no. A number of the Kilmacud players looked at him appealingly, but he decided that there was no foul there. A real let off for Ballyboden. The man in charge of Ballyboden this evening is Anthony Rainbow. 19 years with Kildare, 2 Leinster Senior Football Championship medals, played in the 1998 All-Ireland final that they lost to Galway. And I just wonder what's going through his head at the moment. His side 2 goals down. Is there anything that he can conjure up? Killian O'Shea there again. Conor Casey, his midfield partner, Greg Diaz. Shane Cunningham. It all looks so easy for Kilmacud Crokes at the moment, until the final pass there that was aimed in for Andrew McGowan just went astray from Callum Pearson. But again, Kilmacud's forwards are tackling as if their lives depended on it. Referee decides to bring that one forward. Well, that certainly looked like a push in the back. Both these teams had high scores in the quarter-final matches. Kilmacud in total scored 23 points. Ballyboden in total scored 22. They scored 3 goals and 13 points against Na Fianna, and both teams conceded 15 points. But at the moment, it's the 2 goals the difference. Dara Mullen, twisting, turning, winding himself up for the shot. It's very, very high. Is it coming back enough? No. The crowd don't agree on the stand. They were in line with that upright as well. There needs to be some urgency for Ballyboden now. That ball out towards Cathal Flaherty. He did well to hold on to it. But look at where Ryan Baskell is. He should really be in at that full forward line. Testing. Crokes gets away from the challenge there of Callum Pearson. It's all very, very tight, and once again it's won back. Shane Cunningham in there. Takes the ball back from Colin Pascal. Crossfield ball. Pat Burke was putting life and limb there into it to tap that ball back to Craig Diaz. Conor Casey, Pat Burke. Pat Burke, heavy challenge there by Michael Dara McCauley. And again, Andrew McGowan has plenty of room to come forward. Shane Cunningham, second half's only scorer so far. We've had 7 minutes play. Craig Diaz links up there with Cian O'Connor. Cian O'Connor in turn to Conor Casey. Crowd, I think, were appealing for a free. They didn't get it. It all comes back to Craig Diaz as well. He in turn, though, is fouled. But I think it might be Declan Mahoney who hurt himself more in that challenge. After this evening, there should be just 3 teams left in this competition. St Vincent's and St Jude's will be playing tomorrow. They'll be doing battle in the second semi-final of the Senior 1, also here in Parnell Park. Declan O'Mahony obviously fell awkwardly there because it didn't seem like that hard a challenge that he made. But he seemed to have twisted himself on the way down. Declan O'Mahony back up onto his feet at least. Just doing a few final tests there. Little jump or two to see if that's going to take his weight. Seems to be. No, he's going to stay on. He's going back into his place as Paul Mannion sizes up the free. 40 metres out. That looks as if it's curling superbly around. Great score from Paul Mannion. We have a very fine drizzle, fine haze here drifting across Parnell Park in the lights. But it looks as if Ballyboden's lights are going to go out very soon because they simply haven't got into this game again in the second half. And again, the all-important ball was won by the Kilmacud player, and in the end though it breaks down, and an opportunity now perhaps for Ryan Bascale to get something moving. Darren Nelson, player of great experience. Shane Durkin. There's a lot of Kilmacud players filtering back. Ryan Bascale. Robbie McDade. There's a man inside. It's Michael Dara. He almost got a goal earlier on. Went for the shot there, and looking at the referee appealing that his foot was blocked when he was taking the shot. Not quite sure what the referee's decision on that is. He's given a 45 in the end, I think. Colin Bascale was going to play that ball back as far as Darren Nelson, but thought better of it. That looks good, drifting in, but again it's going to fall a little bit short. Player in the small parallelogram, free out for Kilmacud Crokes. And Paul Mannion. You always feel that he can make his pace tell. That's a good pass through as far as Dara Mullen as well. It looked as if it was going to go through as far as Ross McGowan first of all. But Paul Mannion now following up, having made the pass, makes the run. Slows up a little bit again though. Cian O'Sullivan involved. Conor Casey involved. All the way back to Liam Flatman. He made one sizzling run in that first half. Decides not to go for the same this time round though, but he does play Shane Horan. Shane Horan sees Craig Diaz moving inside. He might go for the score himself. He does go for the score himself. It's very, very high, but it's also very much to the left and wide. I thought that was going over. Darren O'Reilly put under pressure by Pat Burke. Dara Gogan weighing up his options. Ryan Bascale very far back, having to run with it. Running into trouble perhaps. It's very hard work for Ballyboden to get forward. Perhaps Darren O'Reilly can do something with this one. Not too many people on his shoulder. He does get it to Ryan Bascale. He's going to try and go for the shot. That's a huge effort. If that one actually goes over, it will be a super score. It really is a super score from Ryan Bascale. They needed something, and that perhaps will provide a little bit of inspiration. Donagh McCabe comes into the action for Ballyboden. Declan O'Mahony obviously suffering from that injury he picked up a short while ago. He goes off. Line ball for Ballyboden. Double scores. Michael Darren McCauley literally bulldozes his way through. Ryan Bascale to Colin Bascale. He's brought down. Free in for Ballyboden. And so for the first time in this second half we see Ballyboden having a little bit of momentum and perhaps getting a second score. Colin Bascale, a much needed score for Ballyboden. There's always hope. A goal could change things considerably. Line ball for Kilmacud. Shane Cunningham. as the sheeting rain is at the backs of Kilmacud as they head down towards the golf course end in Parnell Park. Cian O'Connor in towards Pat Burke. Pat Burke looking for a player to feed that one off to. There wasn't anybody just on his shoulder at the time. Paul Mannion is there now. Conor Casey. Andrew McGowan. Or Andy. There's lots of options, and for a change though it breaks down and Ballyboden win the free. Darren O'Reilly did some good work there to get back. Another score at this stage now would be a big fillip for Ballyboden. Shane Clayton. The ball breaks down. Conall Keeney. It works out for Conall Keeney. It wasn't quite intended, I don't think, but it worked out in that way as Colin Basquel tries to break through. Will he get a shot on goal? He plays it across in front of goals instead, and the referee said that he was being fouled. So there is another opportunity for Ballyboden. Can they get their third score in a row? They did that in the first half when they had scores from Ryan Basquel, who got 2 points, and then Robbie McDade. And Colin Basquel now with that rain coming over his left shoulder, but he really has to nail this one, and he does. No trouble whatsoever. Four points the margin, and there's still plenty of time left in this game. 14 minutes to go in normal playing time. Could we have a miracle? Oh, great catch there by Aaron Waters. That was a super catch. Plays it up to Ross McGarry. Ross McGarry looking for the score from there. If that was good, and it wasn't, oh, that would have been very, very important to get that score. A point there would have brought them back to within a goal. And once again they're left free in the middle of the field. Darren Nelson. It seems for a change that it's Kilmacud that have suddenly gone to sleep in the centre of the field. Ryan Basquel. He's getting a little bit slippier out there now. Conall Keeney has to play it back into the centre to Colin Basquel. There's a lot of movement now at this stage, much more than there was a little while ago. It comes back again to Ross McGarry. Ross McGarry was over on the far side a moment ago. This time Sean Gibbons is out there with him, so too is Aaron Waters. Aaron Waters, who made that great catch a moment ago to Michael Dara McCauley. Michael Dara decides that he could go through the centre himself, flicks it back outside to Ross McGarry, and he hits that one to the left and wide. Oh, that really was a super chance for them. David Nestor changing his tactics this time, and once again it's Ballyboden that gets to that ball, but this time unfortunately it runs out over the sideline. But suddenly it seems as if Kilmacud have stopped competing in the centre of the field. They're not winning their own kick-outs, and they're second to every ball. They're still leading by 4 points, of course, but that could be about to change as well. Colin Basquel, large appeal from him as he went down. David Nestor under pressure, gets out though, plays that ball as far as Shane Horan. Shane Horan to Paul Mannion. Paul Mannion, he's a little bit of space inside. Callum Pearson back to Paul Mannion. Paul Mannion looking for someone, he finds Shane Horan, so that's a little triangle of passes between all of those players. Pat Burke, Cian O'Connor, Callum Pearson. Oh, that's a good crossfield ball there. It looked for a second as if it was odds on that it would result in a score, but the shot is to the right and wide. This game is still alive, remarkably so. Shane Cunningham puts that to the right. Now it's vital for Ballybowden that they win this kick out. Another score would really be a turning point in this game, perhaps. Donagh McCabe wins it for Ballybowden out the far side. Conall Keeney saw straight away what he needed to do there and get that long ball through. Ryan Baskell, he's trying to create something. They might create something out of this. Well, it was difficult to know whether that was a charge in or out, but the referee's given it in. The Kilmacud supporters felt that he was charging with the ball, but the referee felt that he was being tackled illegally, and there is going to be a change for Kilmacud now. They've got to bring some life into this game for themselves. They're bringing in Tom Fox. So Ryan Baskell from the 20-metre line would make this a 3-point game. That's one score. Pat Burke has also been called ashore for Kilmacud. And as usual, Pat Burke has put in a huge effort. Won some very good ball, important ball for Kilmacud in that forward line. So Ryan Baskell, he simply has to get this one. No trouble whatsoever for him. The last 4 points have gone to Ballybowden. It's really brought them back into this game. Just a goal behind now. And we've got a full 8 minutes to go, so there's plenty of time for them. This ball is going to break through as far as Dara Mullen. Danger here for Ballybowden. They're a little bit exposed. Callum Pearson winning that ball to the man who just came on. Tom Fox involved, gets an early touch on the ball. Laying it back though as far as Ross McGowan. Ross to Cian O'Connor. An opportunity for Kilmacud to come forward, but Michael Darren McCauley blocked the run there of Ross McGowan. Now there's always a possibility that this could be a black card. Dara Shepherd is the referee, a very experienced referee. He shows a yellow card. So the yellow card is shown to Michael Dara McCauley. Now Paul Mannion has the opportunity. He was their last scorer. The breeze is freshening a little bit now, so this should help him from 45 metres out. He hits it very, very high. And he hits it straight. Now that's a great score from Paul Mannion. We've seen two great scores from him in this second half. That point for Paul Mannion opens things up. Restores the 4-point margin for Kilmacud, and that kick out puts the pressure back on Ballybowden. So they've lost that bit of momentum that they had with those 4 scores in a row. Conor Casey, nice little flick off to Cian O'Sullivan. Ballybowden are retreating a little bit. The centre of the field is very open. That's a very loose one for Cian O'Sullivan. He was lucky perhaps to retrieve that one and to get Kilmacud moving once again. Oh, the pace from Cian O'Connor. Craig Diaz, for a second, I think there's going to be a free out there. Craig Diaz, just as soon as he lost that ball, he put a hand out and a little pull, a little nudge. You could hear the gas from the crowd as that ball on the far side went very close to the sideline. And the referees decided it was over-carrying. The temperature's rising. It restarts with Conor Casey in the centre of the field. Cian O'Sullivan. Back to Paul Mannion. Paul Mannion, good ball way up into the corner. Darragh Mullen chases out after that ball. He's got a bit of pace, but there's two men there. He shouldn't really be getting inside them, but he's won the free. That's a very important free for Kilmacud. Their drift out of the game has been stopped. And I think any score at this stage for them now really does just copper fasten their victory. They're now 5 points ahead. Well, what have Ballybowden got left? What can they do? That ball on the ground. But look at the number of players that are around. Kilmacud simply had them. Strength in depth there. Liam Flatman winning the ball, winning the free, and winning the applause. Just under 3 minutes left in this Senior 1 semi-final. The game largely controlled by Kilmacud Crokes. Apart from that period in the second half when Ryan and Colin Baskell shared 4 points between them. But now, with scores from Paul Mannion and Cian O'Connor, it looks as if Kilmacud have reasserted their control. It's only 2 years, remember, since Ballybowden were All-Ireland club champions. 2016, when they beat Castlebar Mitchells in the St Patrick's Day final. That was 2-14 to 7 points. Huge victory. And there was actually 10 of that team played at some stage in this game today. But Kilmacud have largely emphasised the superiority they have over Ballybowden this year in both championship and league. They were in the same group in the championship. That was won by 3-12 to 111. And while tonight is a much lower scoring game, the conditions are different, a slower pitch. Now in the last while we've had a heavy drizzle as well. Kilmacud going back to go forward. Liam Flatman. And they're just getting that ball to hand now. Paul Mannion. Will he go for it on the left? He won't have to do so because that's a great crossfield ball. No, it hasn't really led to anything. The supporters were calling for Conor Casey to go forward with it. He decided to retreat. Looked like a little nudge in the back there. That ball is well won back by Ballybowden. And Ballybowden at this stage, you feel they'll need a goal to rescue this game. We're into the final minute of normal playing time. The referee just deciding that he'll take a little bit of action with Darragh Mullen. So it's a yellow card for Darragh Mullen. And yet another change. Stephen Williams is introduced for Kilmacud, and I think it's Shane Cunningham's the player who's going off. is there one last kick in Ballyboden? Cathal Flaherty, the fullback, sprays that one wide. Shane Durkin. Aaron Waters. Conall Keeney going forward strongly. Fouled. Not too happy with being fouled. I think the referee's going to have a word straight away with Stephen Williams. That could be the fastest booking he's ever had. Or is it just a little word in the ticking? No, I think it's going to be a yellow card. It is a yellow card. So he's on the field about 45 seconds. Gets the yellow for that challenge on Conall Keeney. And as we are a minute now into time added on, there's a certain inevitability about it now. That second point from Paul Mangan in the second half, that was the one that was really the killer. It brought back Kilmacud into the game. Conall Keeney now knows that they really need a goal, so he's just lobbing this ball in and hoping for the best. It's fisted on, but it's fisted wide. Conall Keeney has a little word with Stephen Williams there as they're passing each other. One last opportunity perhaps. Conall Keeney. Too many steps. Well, that about sums up Ballyboden's night. The harder you try, the worse things get. Cian O'Sullivan, it's just a matter of playing down the clock now for Kilmacud. They have been the superior team. Didn't look great at times. Indeed, neither side played terribly well. But semi-finals are about winning. Darragh Mullen tempting fate there perhaps a little bit. I think I may have had a disservice there to Stephen Williams. I think it was Tom Fox that got that yellow card. And the score is taken as well. This time it's the second point of the game for fullback Andy McGowan. And that means we have two clear goals between them. Goals win games. It's an old cliche. Dara Shepherd looks as if it won't be too long before he'll blow that full-time whistle. And he does. Victory for Kilmacud Crokes. Well, it certainly won't go down as one of the truly great games of this year's championship. But we do now know one of the teams who will contest this year's Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship final. Kilmacud Crokes footballers have joined their senior hurlers in reaching the county final, and what a double that would be if they can pull it off. Scenes of Kilmacud delight in Parnell Park as we end our coverage for today with a reminder of the final scoreline from the Senior 1 Football Championship semi-final, which ended Kilmacud Crokes 2 goals and 9 points, Ballyboden St Enda's 9 points.